Pull a coin out of your pocket right now. Any coin, quarter, dime, nickel, does not matter. Look at it. Really look at the face of it. You will find a president. You will find the words, United States of America. You will find, In God We Trust. You will find the year it was minted and probably the letter of the mint facility that made it. What you will not find in any clear, straightforward way is what the coin is worth. A dime does not say 10 cents. It says 1 dime, which is only useful information if you already know what a dime is worth. A quarter says quarter dollar, not 25 cents. Quarter dollar. A fraction of a unit rather than a number a child could use to buy something. Pick up a coin from almost any other country and the denomination is printed plainly. The number, the currency unit. Done. No interpretation required. America has been minting coins for over 200 years, and in that entire time, the decision of how to label their value has been handled in a way that ranges from indirect to baffling to inconsistent in ways that nobody ever fully resolved. And the reason starts not with economics but with pride. The first American coins were minted in 1792 at the newly established Philadelphia Mint. The young country had just fought a revolution against a monarchy, and the founders were acutely conscious of every symbol they put into circulation. European coins at the time almost universally bore the image of the monarch, the king or queen whose authority guaranteed the coin's value, the face of power pressed into metal and handed from person to person as a daily reminder of who ruled. The founders refused this. No portraits of living persons on American currency. The decision was explicit and the reasoning was Republican with a small r. Putting a ruler's face on money was what monarchies did. America was something else. Instead, the early coins bore the image of liberty, an allegorical figure, a concept rather than a person. And around liberty ran inscriptions that were equally philosophical. E pluribus unum, United States of America, liberty itself written as a word above the figure representing it. The coins were designed as statements of national identity before they were designed as practical instruments of commerce. What they meant mattered more to the people designing them than how easily a farmer could use one to buy nails. The denomination existed. It was on the coin. But it was subordinate to the symbolism in a way that would echo through American coinage for the next 2 centuries. The denomination problem compounded over time because the early American monetary system was genuinely confusing. The dollar was the base unit, but Americans in the 18th and 19th centuries routinely used foreign coins alongside domestic ones. Spanish reales circulated widely. A Spanish dollar was divided into 8 reals, which is where the term pieces of 8 comes from, and also where the informal term 2 bits for a quarter originates. 2 bits meaning 2 of the 8 pieces of a Spanish dollar, which equaled 1/4 of an American dollar. This mixed currency environment meant that denomination labeling was already complicated. A coin that said 25 cents was competing for use alongside foreign coins that did not use that system at all. Merchants and buyers operated from memory and experience rather than from reading the face of each coin they handled. The mint made design choices that reflected this reality. Rather than printing a simple numeral and unit, the coins carried names and fractions. Half dime, dime, which comes from the Latin decima meaning a tenth, quarter dollar, half dollar. The language assumed the user already understood the system they were operating inside. That assumption calcified into tradition before anyone seriously questioned whether it was the best approach. The dime is the sharpest example of how far this went. The word dime appears on the coin, 1 dime, and nothing else tells you that 1 dime means 10 cents unless you already know that. For most of American history, this was not considered a design flaw. People learned coin values the way they learned everything else about daily life, from parents, from teachers, from handling money as children until the values became automatic. But the dime created a specific practical problem that resurfaced every time the currency system was adjusted. The dime is the smallest American coin physically. Smaller than the penny, smaller than the nickel, worth more than both. A child or a foreign visitor encountering American coins for the first time has no visual or textual cue that the small silver coin outranks the larger copper one. Size does not indicate value. The label does not clearly state value. The only way to know is to already know. Other countries have dealt with this by making higher denomination coins physically larger as a general rule, and by printing the numeral denomination clearly enough that no prior knowledge is required. America enshrined its confusing size hierarchy into law and kept it. The penny is the only American coin that actually says its denomination in a way that connects directly to the cent system. 1 cent. Printed plainly. Every other coin speaks in a different register, a different era's logic about what a person using money ought to already understand. The portraits arrived in 1909 with the Lincoln penny and spread slowly across the coinage from there. The Buffalo nickel came in 1913, the Mercury dime in 1916, the Washington quarter in 1932, and eventually every American coin carried a presidential or historical portrait, just as the founders had refused to allow in 1792. The shift happened so gradually that it never triggered the Republican alarm the founders had set up. Lincoln came first on the penny to mark the centennial of his birth, and he was safely dead. The precedent was established. Dead presidents were not monarchs. They were history, and history on a coin was acceptable in a way that living authority was not. But the denomination labeling never modernized alongside the portraiture. The coins got new faces. They did not get clearer numbers. The quarter still says quarter dollar. The dime still says 1 dime. The logic of 1792 about what to write on the face of a coin survived every redesign that changed everything else about them. Turn that coin over in your hand one more time. What you are holding is a 200-year-old argument about what money is for, whether it is primarily a practical instrument that should communicate its value as simply as possible, or whether it is a piece of the national story that happens to also function as currency. America decided the second thing and has never fully reconsidered it. The quarter in your hand tells you it is a quarter dollar. It tells you whose face is on it. It tells you what year it was made and where and what the country believes about God and unity. It does not tell you in plain numbers what it is worth because in 1792, a group of founders thought the symbol mattered more than the instruction. They were designing a republic. They just forgot some people would need to use it to buy things.